Wells only and his guests are not responsible for any losses you may accrue for having weekends. Where the haters at? Y'all bitches still ain't showed up. And now, right, we got Hex, flawless uptime. People thought this was a joke. Now they're mad at the chart. It's lullaby music, really, right? It's hard to believe that something like this exists. I get it, but you just gotta come to terms with reality. It just exists. Nothing we can do about it. Buy a steak and chill, baby. Shout out to Marketable Thoughts. You can't get this kind of shit for free anywhere else. This is Wales Only. Glad you guys can make it out. I'm making some claims that are pretty outlandish, but I can back them up. Boom. End of story. There is no other crypto out there, so don't get it twisted. If you don't understand where you're parking your money, you're gonna pay the consequences for that, and that's just how the cookie crumbles. Boom. We're obliterating everybody, literally. There is nobody else that comes close to what Hex has done. Oh, it's about to get funky. Funkier than you could have ever imagined. You know, Richard Hart is a boss. Hex is literally the best thing on the planet. It's simple mathematics. Right? The reality is that I want to be rich as fuck. There's only one way to be rich as fuck. That's by sitting on your ass the longest. Yep. That's it. Yep. That's the secret. The guy well told you. Richard done told you. I done told you. Kareem done told you. Maddie done told you. Everybody done told you. Everybody done told you. Shit, motherfuckers still acting like they don't know. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
100% safe. There's plenty of games left.
Valiant done told you. Yo, everybody said it. Man, hey, you know what it is, man? Everybody done told you. Y'all deep. Everybody. My God. Ex-Asians, bro. Everybody. Australians, man. Everybody gets me. Yo, when did they told you? Dollar Club told you. Everybody done told you. It's crazy. Let's do an audio check. Let me know if you guys can hear me, just to be sure. Hope everybody's having an amazing Friday morning or evening or afternoon, depending on where you are. Yeah. Things are looking outstanding. All right, you guys hear me? Great. Unfortunately, it looks like the dip might be over in PulseChain and PulseX and related coins, related items. But I mean, I guess that's not really the important thing. The important thing is understanding what to do if it's not really the end. You gotta kind of understand that people's perspective is limited, no matter how much or how accurate they can be for a predetermined or an undetermined period of time, right? So, because we thought the dips was over before, right? Everybody always thinks the dips are over, but they keep coming back. And the reason for that is because there's still a lot of discontinuity in the way people perceive the world, right? So, what does this tell you as an individual that's trying to come up? Because if you're watching this stream, that probably means that you're not a millionaire. If you are, salute. If you're not and you're trying to become one, that means you got to understand how to move. It's very simple. Because you don't have the infinite resources at your disposal to just always have the opportunity or the ability to change your preference from one asset to the other because you don't have any assets. Excuse me, guys. Sorry about that. Some freaking schmuck out there in a truck. So yeah. Well, I think everybody should identify as a billionaire if we get to pretend. Because why not? Why not? Let me pull up the chart. I guess let's get to it. Let's see. Yeah, let me zoom this out. Actually, where's this thing? Alrighty. So this is like the ultimate support area as far as I'm concerned. Like if the market keeps falling, this is like the last straw. It shouldn't go lower than that, basically. Um, I don't. I would assume they do because they're human. They got to watch stuff too, right? So I would assume they do. But when you're looking at this chart, what you can easily spot, I don't know if this indicator is going to be here. It is. Let's get it rocking then. All right, let me get the settings going here for my liking anyway. Uh, let's see. Yes. But you can't really see the profiles down there. Same problem. Up, down. Yeah, all right. Yeah, let's go with that. And let's talk about this. This is actually good stuff. That's not really. We'll see what this looks like up until there. All right. Let me see. Okay. All right. This is gonna be some good stuff. Please pay attention because you probably never heard none of these concepts before. And if you have, then good stuff because you're ahead of the pack. Um, so what are we looking at here? On the right side, what we have is distribution of price, volume at price, at every price level. And every increment, every line is showing you 55 ticks of price action, basically. So 55 ticks of volume at every instance is showing you, X volume. Now, there's no metric that we can pull out. We just use, or the system just uses, the longest, uh, the highest volume point as a point of control. And right now, that happens to be, does it mark it specifically? No, I'll have to pull it up. At this point, it happens to be three zeros and a 1 5 for PulseChain. Now, what that means is, and this is all theoretical, given that price has traveled below from above, that is to say that there's a lot of selling, a lot of supply up here. So a lot of buyers have to come in and buy up all of this supply that was sold. That's basically what's going on. And that's basically what that means in layman's terms, right? As we go through the process of recovering these price levels, price is going to run into other supply points, right? Like right here, which is what we're seeing right now. And that's what this is right here. That's what this area is right here. That's what that area is right here. And if you look at this purple band that's wrapped around price, right? You guys see this purple band that's wrapped around price. That purple band is showing you where one standard deviation of the price action is happening within the point of control, right? Which, as you can see, changes over time because the volume distribution, where people buy and sell, is going to change with time. And when we're looking at this metric, it allows us to know where the preference is liquidity wise, right? Are people willing to sell or buy? That's what I mean by liquidity preference. Are people hoarding crypto or are people getting rid of it? And at this point, people were getting rid of it, right? Because the point of control was up here and price was below it. So that means that the preference is for people to get out of the market, not stick around, not buy. That's the immediate preference. And that's what we've been seeing this whole time. This whole time. And price, the point of control, followed, right? Price all the way down. Right now, it's over here. So it could be that we're just rebounding, perhaps to this area, which is called a low volume node. And the reason it's called a low volume node is because typically price flies through this area. Right? There's not really any significant activity where volume builds up like you're seeing here, or down here, or up here, or here, right? Or even here. You have a much higher level of volume than you do in this area. Um, these areas typically prove as being resistance when or support when price flies through them. In the previous, depending on how it went through. So let me rephrase because that sounded all jumbled up. If price is going down and it's reversing, as you guys can see, price kind of flew right through that. It didn't really spend a lot of time there. Just hit it, reversed, roll right back over. This is a 4-hour chart. So not a lot of time, not a lot of volume right there. It kind of just slipped right through. Right. And you can even see the value area. This, with one standard deviation of price action happened, it went right with it. Right. So that means the market is weak there. So that means that this is a potential area where the market is probably going to find resistance. Right. Meaning it's going to slow down. Now, that doesn't mean that's going to be the end of the move higher. Right. Because if value stabilizes down here, meaning buyers keep buying in this area, well, this could easily move on up and this can easily move on down, right? Which is going to shift the point of control from sellers who are in control for now, as long as this is up here, to down here, right? And we have two areas to contend with versus this one up here, right? And it looks like the area that's actually being highlighted is hard to see because let me see something. I'll make a point real quick. Hold on, guys. Alrighty. Um, so yeah, so as you guys can see, this high volume area over here. Hold on, I went too far out. This high volume area over here, just, just is just right, just peaking past these two lower high points of what I would say accumulation, right? Because price activity down here has been where the fuck is this thing? There you go. People basically been buying. They haven't been selling. Until we see new lows, you got to presume that these are buyers that are in control of the market down here, right? Because we've made two lows, right? And the same price area, sure, one was lower than the other. I'm not going to get into divergence, convergence, blah, blah, blah. Let's just look at the price. And then we breached the previous area of resistance, right? So we should expect price to come down here again to this previous area of resistance and become support. So essentially, price should pause at 89.10, 8900 area. It should. Doesn't mean it will, but it should, right? Assuming the market cares. And continue on higher, right? Up until it reaches this area. However, it does that dance. But what you got to understand is you can see this volume, this peak of volume at price here. It acted as a point of resistance here, right? And then price went through it. Now, what's happening that's similar right now? Well, the same thing is happening again that's similar. You have this volume wall right here, but again up here, and is acting as resistance again. Is this stuff making sense to you guys? Because this is pretty, this is how you got to really look at this stuff. Because this is what's happening in the market. This is people buying and selling. So it doesn't get any clearer than that, right? This is painting the picture for you directly. So you got buyers in control for now in this area, right? You got 2 points of accumulation. One that was the distribution area, now turned accumulation. One presently a distribution area to become an accumulation area, right? Because that's how it works. Markets auction up and down, right? Markets auction up and down. And this is very important to understand. Because what's actually happening when somebody's buying and selling something? They're saying, okay, I'm willing to pay this price. And if they're not going to pay it, they're not willing to pay it. Real simple. And it sounds trite, trivial, yada yada, but it's important to understand because a lot of people do not understand this, and this is why they fail and they FOMO, whether it's up or down. FOMOing will always kill your pocket. Always. So let's see here. So right now, PulseChain is again running into this area of resistance, and it should capitulate, revert lower into a support area, right? Which could be between here, right, the 8900 area, and this 8500 area. Shouldn't really go lower than that, and if it does, ultimate low should be 8300. Anything below that is danger zone. So we'll see. But once it does that, trajectory should basically be something like that. Uh, Probably something like this. Like that. Until it ultimately just runs into this price gap where sellers come back in, try to take profits, and probably shove it down, probably back into this area. And who knows? Maybe it ends up doing an inverted head and shoulders. That's what it looked like what it could set up to do. But we'll see. Important thing is just let the market do its thing and let it show you what it's trying to do. Because a lot of people, we get soaked up in calling these bottoms, just like we did it here, right? But the market said, nah, we're gonna keep going on lower. And here's the real pro tip. Because while it might look like an inverted head and shoulders, this is going to be a big area to contend with, right? So there's no real guarantee that the inverted head and shoulders is going to play out because you got to basically get above this 10,000 to 11,000 area, right? That's basically what has to happen. Um, and you got to presume, so there's still going to be people trying to sell something. So the question will be, are there still a lot of sellers left? And for now, it seems like there's not. It seems like there's not. But we have to see this value area, right? The lower leg of this value area needs to start recovering some ground before we can be assured that the market has indeed bottomed. Market structure essentially has to show us that. And so far, we don't really have that picture yet. We really have the first instance of that picture building now. So it's gotta be either what you see on screen now or something like that. Um, some alternative of the market just doing something, right? Because the market's objective is to cause the most pain at all times, right? So how is it going to do that? By keeping people off sides. And this is why you have to understand what people are doing and why they're not why they're doing it, what they're doing, because you can never know the why, but the what is visible, right? And this is what people need to understand. The what of the market is visible, and this is what we need to see for value to stop progressing lower, right? Because if this value area on the lower edge of price action continues lower, then the market itself is going to continue lower because that's what's causing it to go lower, right? Price was trading up here all this while, right? And you can't presume that this indicator was even down here at the time, right? And if it was, price came off of it because the downward pressure was so fast and swift off of the jump, right? It wasn't even sensible because that's how much selling pressure there was. So the market finally caught up, and now the market is just selling off, right? With a concerted effort, of course, but it looks like sellers have been exhausted for now, and that's what you kind of want to see. Now, the upside to the distribution that we have here is that below this area, this 8,000 area, there's literally like no volume to speak of, right? Like the market really, like nobody that bought down here is selling anything. Period. Basically, is what that means. Um, because they're in profit. Why do they have to sell? They're not feeling any heat. If prices get pushed down to the point where we do start seeing some activity, this is the area. And it just so happens that a point of control is there. When I drew this box, I didn't even have this up. But once you learn to stare at charts long enough, you understand how to look at these things. And you start to realize you don't need all the fancy indicators and all that. Because at the end of the day, those indicators are pulling data from where? The price. So if you understand what the price is doing, you don't really need to be looking at no indicators. I mean, moving averages are there to be useful, but they're just merely a guide, right? You still got to understand what price is doing because the moving average isn't price, and you're not trading the moving average. You're never trading the indicator, and this is why this box was there before this indicator was up, because you guys saw I put that indicator up beforehand, and it just so happened that I found, the market showed me when I put these indicators on that was the correct area to put that box. Period. That's all. And it's just about being aware, right? So let's get into the crux of the conversation, right? Because there's a whole lot of people that really don't understand what they're doing here. And what I mean by that is they can't comprehend what they should be doing when things are not peachy green, right? Because that's ultimately the present day scenario. What are we doing when prices aren't just going up? A lot of people don't know what to do in that scenario. And when I came back around, I didn't think, it wasn't obvious to people. Personally, that was my thought. So that's why I never made a video on it, at the beginning, because my intention was just explain the basics, what crypto is. But I guess if motherfuckers didn't know what crypto was, it should have been obvious that that is something I should have touched on. But I didn't. So let's talk about it. How do we live in a world where there is no sensible explanation for anything, right? And now you guys got to understand, for someone such as myself, um, my whole life has essentially been that, right? And it's hard to wrap your head around that at first. It's really difficult because it really doesn't make sense, right? How can you operate when you're told that this whole entire time that there's this set of concrete rules you got to follow, but in reality, not really? It's all the rules. Because if you're looking around, who the fuck is following these rules except for the suckers? The suckers. That's it. Nobody else. It's that simple, right? The suckers are the ones following the rules. Nobody else. And that's a fact of life. It's not to say go out here and break all the damn rules. Of course not. However, point is you gotta learn when to bend the rules, right? And that's what the real world is all about. Literally. If you work in any industry, I'm going to say at least 50 to 60% of the time, you're trying to find ways to bend regulation. It's a fact. Because our world has literally flipped from enterprise to regulation, from enterprise driven to being regulation driven. So that statement is a fact. It's not an opinion. And what that means is you have to learn how to think in a world where restraints are the norm, right? Restraints are the norm. So, what does that mean? That means that you have to learn how to think of things backwards, maybe. Think about it. How can we determine something that we have no comprehension or understanding of when we have no experience of it? We literally can't. And that's important because that's how we realize we have to take a step back and understand what the hell it is we're doing. Think about that for a second, guys. Seriously, think about that. Because in the world of markets, that's what it is. You don't know what you're doing. You're going out there and you're presuming one thing. No matter what, you don't really know if that one thing is going to happen. So, how do you find success in an environment like that? That's straight ambiguous. Straight up. Give me a second, guys. But think about that while I step away for a second. So, operating in an environment where there are no rules, this is what the world really is. And this is what we have to comprehend that we're doing here. This is why it's the cowboys that succeed in new markets where there are no rules, where things don't make sense, where you have to think outside the box. Think about it. How do we achieve anything when there are no guidelines? How do we evolve as a society? How do we learn to walk, crawl, this, that, and the third? Right? These are things you got to understand, or at least try to understand, because how else do you come across opportunity if you don't recognize it? Think about it. How do you know to buy something when it's worth nothing? I mean, this is the hardest question that everybody wants to answer to, right? Motherfuckers think they could just jump into crypto, click, and 100x later, problem solved. But clearly, it's not that easy. If it was that easy, everybody would just be done and they wouldn't be doing shit they don't want to do. They'd just be doing shit. That's literally the truth. Nobody would be watching these streams. Nobody would be typing in these chats, talking shit. They wouldn't have shit to say. They'd be fucking clicking, making these 100x's and shutting the fuck up. That's what they'd be doing. Simple. But no, they haven't figured out. So, you know, that's how they roll. That's how big money rolls, right? They know. So when you think about it, what's your objective? How do you achieve it? When you don't have any clear guidelines, no instructions, no determination that you're doing things right or wrong. Because here's the funny thing, in a bear market, it doesn't look like you're doing things right, ever. It only looks like you're doing things wrong. And that's the crazy thing. That's exactly what it's supposed to look like. Think about it. Think about it. In the bear market, you're supposed to be literally seething and foaming and everything at the opportunity to buy things that people think are dead when they're not. I remember my first bear market. I didn't have a freaking clue. 2008, 2009, I was holding stocks that if I would have just left them alone, crypto what would be the word? Wouldn't need no damn crypto. Wouldn't have to look that way. And that's how a lot of people feel when they're already financially well off. And this is the thing that people don't understand because they don't got money. They ain't never been around motherfuckers with money. They don't know shit. They just get online and talk shit like they know shit. And that's the reality that people online have to contend with. They don't realize that the people that talk shit don't know shit. They're just talking shit. And it's easy to be confident online when you don't have to substantiate anything that you're saying. Right? But when somebody's giving an hour long stream, tell you what, it's kind of hard to lie for a whole fucking hour. It's really hard to just lie. So, you know, there's always going to be critiques, critics, and people talking shit. We'll take critiques and we'll take critics. But we don't give a fuck about people talking shit because they don't matter. Now, excuse me while I like this blunt. Because again, never ceases to amaze that there's always the people that don't know or don't have a clue be the ones that critique or even have anything to say. I mean, if you had anything to say, why don't you just fucking stream? You don't need to comment in somebody else's stream chat. Pretty lame. Who got time for that? Get a life, motherfucker. Anyway, so I was understanding how to operate in ambiguity, like I just did right there, real quick, laying that smack down. That's how you understand whether you're doing things right or not. Can you identify opportunity in the midst of chaos? Is everybody losing their mind or have you lost your mind? That's the base question that you always have to be asking yourself when you're operating in markets. Because when things are going down to this degree, you have to ask yourself these fundamental questions. Why am I doing this? Does am I doing make sense? Am I doing anything that makes sense? Is my point of view skewed? Am I thinking straight? It. What are we doing in crypto? I mean, the fact that people can't wrap their heads around this still is baffling. It's baffling. 99% of the people out here need to go watch my first video. And you don't need to watch anything else, really. You really don't. Because once you understand that video, you're good. That's literally all that's going on here. On a very base fundamental level. That's all that's going on in crypto. But you got to understand that first video. That first video gives you the very mechanics of what is happening in any cryptocurrency that is a legit cryptocurrency. So, what's happening right now is the opposite of what we want, literally, right? Now, what's the upside to that? The upside is that it presents us, those that have been around paying attention, with the opportunity to get back into the market at prices that we couldn't even fathom. Now, right now, we're at 2.8, 2 zeros and an 8.2. That's the price level we're at right now. And it's a pretty damn good price level. But it looks like we have support down at the 5.5 cent level, which is around where I got in. Now, I'll tell you what, I didn't have the bags that I have now thanks to PulseChain. So if we hit those levels, man, this is going to be a motherfucking party. Straight up. No doubt about it. Because anybody that has a brain anyway, is sitting there with their fingers crossed, hoping and praying that we come close to that 5.5 hundredths of a cent level. Oh, yeah. Better believe it. Better believe it. Because here's the thing that people fail to realize, which is pretty funny, all in all. Because, again, it goes back to that first video, which is kind of crazy that I even titled this stream what I did. Because once you understand the very basics of crypto, and I mean the very, very basics, you have no concern with regard to anything. And that's simply because you grasp the fact that it is software that operates on its own, doesn't have any human intervention, etc. Once you have those basic tenets of a cryptocurrency down, no admin keys, yada yada, everything changes, right? Because you have a different point of view now. And this is what most people need to have or need to acquire. They need to acquire that different perspective that's going to allow them to understand what they're doing. Because here's the thing, it's not even about just Hex, because the entire crypto market is going down while the stock market is going up. So what do you got to say about that? Right? In my book, that's a good thing because that's basically what you want, especially at this point in time. Um, and we can talk about that in some other stream because that shit is, there's a lot going on over there. Long story short, the market is essentially winding up for the smackdown. So that's why you see it taking off. Everybody's bulled up. Nobody's paying attention to the the flashing yellow lights that are bright. And once that thing becomes red, that's that. That's all she wrote. And here's the thing. Once that happens, that's all she wrote in crypto. So your DCAing opportunities will become nil as time moves on from that point on. And this is what you guys have to understand. In fact, I think I even have a chart. Hold on, let's see. Is this it? Yep. Hold on. Let's go. Oh, here we go. All right. So let me get rid of. Oh, okay. That's Bitcoin in orange, and this is the stock market. S&P 500 futures in the regular candles. Right. Down here you have the correlation indicator. So it's just tracking it on, I think, a 21-day basis is what I have it on. hmm On a 21 rolling day basis. Um, and right now, seems like the market is reaching some type of extreme, but it goes here often and snaps. Question is, what's going to happen this time? Because it's not always the same type of snap. Um, Now, here's the thing. Excuse me. The correlation is kind of sensible at this point, the way it stands. And the reason is because we have the reserve currency, the monetary system for the reserve currency, literally teetering on the edge of collapse. Everybody understands that. Everybody is ditching the reserve currency in spades and out loud. They're not being shy about it, which is brand new. That's never happened in our lifetime. Not not since the 1970s. Not since 1971. That has not happened. And the market is reacting as such. Now, nobody expected this exact reaction to occur. And that's what's important because everything has changed. Literally, it's different this time, except that it's only different this time because it's done. So, what do you do in that instance? I mean, you guys got to realize we're in this every day. To us, this is normal. Nobody else has a freaking clue what is going on. We are too close. And you have to learn how to look at the forest when you're a tree. That is crucial. That's the only way to find success long term. That's how you can operate in ambiguity. That's how I'm able to see so much because I'm always looking at the big picture. The little picture is irrelevant because that's always going to change. And you just have to be able to change with it. That's your job as a human. Not much of an option. So if things have changed, then the stock market is shooting higher and it's setting up for a collapse because interest rate spreads are literally at all-time lows. And let's take a look at that because this is the determinant. It's not my opinion, right? I mean, this chart is going back to 1989, and we're seeing this. Which one is this? This is probably the 10 twos, 10 fives. Let's see, 30 fives. Yep. um 30 tens. Jesus. So all the spreads, all of them are at or making new all-time lows, while the stock market is making all-time highs. I could do a whole stream on that alone. That alone. The implications are redonkulous. Redonkulous. You know, I don't know what the world's doing, but I know what the smart money's doing, and they're loading up on. You already know. Thanks for the super chat, brother. Don't feel bad if you blew your load. We can only buy what we can buy. It will never feel like it's enough. That's the sign of a good product, and that's a fact. That is a fact. And this is what people need to understand. You're never going to be satisfied. Period. Never going to have enough X. It's just not going to happen. So, good luck. Never going to have enough Pulse. Never going to have enough Pulse X. Never going to have enough ink. You're never going to have enough in general. Just promise. That's just not how it's going to be. So, okay. We got spreads at all-time lows. Banks aren't making money. Banks are being shut down. Banks are being accosted left and right. As you guys know by now, and if you don't, you're about to find out. The Fed is in essence trying to destroy the financial system so that they can then present their solution, i.e., the CBDC. That's the whole objective. And if you've been following me for a while, you already know. That's what's going on. So, this is why crypto is now becoming a thing. And like I've been telling you guys for a while, at work I get to see this stuff. I get to see crazy shit that I just didn't think would ever matter, but it matters. And the older I get, the more I realize how much it matters. And that's the main reason I'm still there. And yeah, things are working out nicely for me as far as the slave ship goes. Hold on, guys. Almost there. Almost there. All right. What up, ATX? So we got a stock market at all-time highs. Yield spreads at all-time lows, which is extremely negative. There's always a recessionary reaction when the market finds this point. Here we are at 2000, March 2000, literally the top. What is this? 2006. If you guys don't know, that's pretty much when real estate topped out. This is when the stock market topped out for good. This all around here. Let's see what we got here. 18. That's some China happened. I can't remember exactly what it was. Here we are today. Today. Interestingly enough, in the period of Rona, spreads blew out the other way, not this way. So just for context. Um, Now, well, every time we reach this point, yields compress, right, and stocks drop. Now, how it happens is always going to be different, and we can't ever foresee exactly how, right? And that's important to understand because every time I've seen a top or bottom, it's always been different. And I mean a major top or bottom, not some 15-minute shit, because even those are always different. But I mean like a major one. They're different. And if you're looking at this chart, you'll see the same thing. This chart is covering 35 freaking years. Like it's not a couple weeks. It's 35 years on this chart. So um, when I look at the tops, it's the same deal. They're never the same, right? They happen differently because the inputs are different. The emotional inputs are different, right? We have to remember that was driving all price action, period. Whether it's crypto or stock market or whatever market, it's human emotion. That's what's driving it. That's why people always say use limit orders, right? Because the idea behind a limit order is that you're picking your price, you're not chasing a price. But that's not always going to be the case. So it's all these things that are important to understand, and it's a lot. It's not easy. It takes time because it's all a puzzle. You go from one thing to the next. I literally started out trying to do one thing, and it ballooned into this whole thing. Period. Because if you have an interest in learning, you don't stop. There is no end point. You're just learning. And that's how I ultimately realized that I fucked up on Bitcoin trades. Oh man. But I still didn't understand enough, until really I found Hex. That's really when I understood enough. That I was like, yeah, 15 years stake, we out. Because I didn't understand the staking system. Once I wrapped my head around that shit, it was a no brainer. Because I was already looking for the next Bitcoin trade. That's the trade everybody needs to be looking for. Nothing else. Of course, if you think you're short on time and you don't got 15 years, then of course you play your hand as you see fit. But if you're a young individual, you should be taking the biggest risk of all, which is 15 years. It only makes mathematical sense. Zero risk to the downside because you got 15 years of time on your side while you're getting compensated to do it. And that's the upside in Hex. There is no other system that does that. None. Not in that fashion. So, once the rest of the world becomes aware of it, it's gonna be hard for prices to remain low because you have to understand that Hex is literally a tool. It's a financial tool, right? Just like farming is a financial tool, Hex is a financial tool, and institutions are gonna probably end up being the main purveyors of that tool because the average person might or might not get it. An institution, they have an incentive to get it. Period. They can't get 10% nowhere on an annual basis. Period. It's not a discussion. That's a fact. So it's only a matter of them becoming aware, and that's it. Once they realize that it's not that big of a deal to jump through the hoops, everybody's priced out. And as you guys found out yesterday, they're already trying to crowd everybody out of crypto. BlackRock, right? That ETF deal. Magically, they already had that S1 filed. That puppy was ready to go. And I think we talked about that months ago, if not years ago. I'm pretty sure I called it. Like, it's obvious. This is just what they do. Like, there is no genius to making these kind of calls. There really isn't. Um, just type in profile, and it's gonna be the visible range one, the visible range option. So it's not like I'm some type of genius or anything like that. It's really just knowing their playbook because I read enough history. That's all it is, man. I'm not some type of genius. Anybody can do this. I'm pretty sure there's a billion other guys. In fact, I know there's a few that I watch that they just do the same thing that I do. It's just obvious. I don't know. It's just like people that just see what they see. This is just what I see, and just like how some people just see, like some people could just sell and buy real estate, man. They just get at that shit no matter what. I'm good at this dumb shit that doesn't get me paid. What can I say? It only gets you paid in the stock market and shit like that. Like it don't get you paid outright. Like physical activity is what I mean. So it's not the same. People don't understand it. People aren't involved. They don't think it matters when it does, and that's really the hardest thing about it. Because look at where we find ourselves now. Everybody now is in this ambiguous point in time, and they don't really realize it. Economies around the world are crashing, banking systems are crashing, banks are getting shut down, uh, CBDC rails are getting stood up. All these 15-minute cities are trying to get put into place. People are saying, hell no, they're not fucking with that. Like, people are awake. It's about to get rocky. It's about to be a live summer. If we're lucky, it won't get too hot. Because if it does, there's no telling what's going to happen. Because when it gets insufferably hot, people don't know how to act. Everybody doesn't have AC. Everybody doesn't have a nice windy place, where the wind's going to come in and they're going to catch that breeze. Like, everybody ain't living nice. So they react to that. A lot of people, environment determines their emotional reaction to everything. And that emotional reaction is rarely positive when it's a negative environment. And this is the problem with being in a city and stuff like that. Like, you're not living free. You're just not. You're living in a box. Even if you're outside, it's a concrete box. I run around and I'm running around on concrete. Anytime I find some grass, man, I find that joy and I step on it. Not a problem. Because I know running on that concrete is just damaging me. But I gotta run. What can I do? At the end of the day, it's about understanding how to operate within the ambiguity. Right? That's why I understand, let me go step on this grass. And I gotta be ready to step on that grass. Because it's not gonna always be available. Right? So when you're in these markets and you're operating and you're trying to learn, you got to understand that it's a never ending process because there's a lot of layers to the pieces to this puzzle. I mean, a puzzle by itself is hard enough. We're talking about a puzzle with layers here. Because every layer is its own puzzle. Every single one. So that means that you have to be vigilant when new information arises. You have to assess it. You have to try to understand whether it jives with your point of view or not. And if it doesn't, why? If it does, why? Always try to understand your weaknesses, your strengths. Because you're not going to always be in the know. For all we know, PLS is sitting at, point 3 zeros and a 1 right now. And nobody's watching it. Maybe somebody had an LP bag sitting there that they didn't want sitting there. And now they mad. Watch the damn chart, bro. Don't be mad. And that's the answer. But no, people rather be mad. So, zooming into a 1 hour chart, it looks like we are bottomed out. But price still needs to recover. Market structure, if it doesn't, then price is setting itself up for a nasty fall later on. I don't know. We'll see. But as you guys can see, you have all these distribution points here. Another one here, right? These high volume nodes, high volume node, right? These all these different points. It's like a volume wall, if you want to think of it like that, a volume shelf. Slow price down, but as you guys can see, because price flew through these levels, right? Primarily these two. It looks like this level, right? This volume shelf here is gonna hold price. That's what it looks like as of right now. So if price breaks 93.09, that looks to be like the level 93.20, whatever it is. 93.10. 93.10 is that level. Price breaks that, then we're gonna probably see recovery down to this area, 8,500, just to clear out that point of control and be done. And this is me assuming that the market didn't already clear it out in here because it's really hard to see. It's really hard to see, and it could be the case that it's already resolved, but I'm just not sure that that would be the case because it. Yeah, nah, nah. The market got to come back and probably retest it because that's just how it works. You can see it right here. Market came down, point of control was established, and the market came back, touched it. Market eventually follows through, or price follows through, one or the other. So if the market doesn't ever move lower, then the PLC would have to shift higher. That means that more volume will have to trade up here in order for it to resolve itself. This is just PLS. Let's look at PLSX. I'm being biased, right? Um, to me, it's all the same, so I don't feel like I need to look at them all. But I have my own point of way of looking at things. Um, so this is PLSX versus a dollar. And same deal here, right? Let's throw indicators on that like I did earlier. And visible range is the one I pick. Let me adjust the settings. And I didn't even change this on the other chart. I should. All right, let's see here. Oh, hold on, guys. Doom. All right. So same deal. Looks like PLSX is bottom. Look, we got a pretty close triple tap here. If I was to throw a oscillator indicator down there, I'm sure we could just confirm it. Triple tap is typically locking it in. So not sure we would see price move back down to this area anytime soon. However, still out there. Um, and that's something people need to be aware of. So, and as you guys can see, you even have a little volume shelf here, right, in between these two areas, 2100 and 1900. But for now, it looks like price is recovering nicely. So it just has to contend with this volume gap, right? And then if it could recover past this point, then you might be locking in. Oh, we got a guest. We got a guest. What's good, homie?
What's going on? What's up, Wells?
Chilling,
What's up,
brother.
chat?
How you doing, brother? Thank you for joining.
Oh man, thank you for having me.
Of
You
course, brother.
know, grinding out here in the wilderness of confusion. You know, trying to make
Word.
sense.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is why this is exactly why I had this stream because you got to understand how they have to think about this. Instead of looking at the downward price action as a negative, they need to look at it as a positive and understand what they need to be doing, and that's trying to accumulate more.
One hundred
Simple,
percent.
very simple. Because
Did
they're gonna
you?
be mad at the top if they don't now. You know.
Right, right, right. Let me ask you this: did you? I caught some of your stream in the beginning, and but I don't know if you touched upon the whole BlackRock ETF thing.
Yeah, yeah, I touched on it a little bit.
You did, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We can talk
I
about it
think.
again though, because I mean,
I mean,
I feel like that shit was a no brainer. Like it was, they were obviously like I felt like I even talked about it before because they obviously setting up for that. Why else would they let nobody else have an ETF?
that's right. That's
So it's
right.
kind of like, duh, that shit was just sitting there waiting to get fucking filed. You know what I'm saying? They been had that shit.
But you know, in addition, check. I mean, BlackRock damn near owns planet Earth. You know, like
Understand?
if the SEC were to shut them down, you know what type of consequence? Like BlackRock
SEC
could
ain't shutting
pay.
them down. That shit going straight through. I'm surprised it's
Ex-
not approved yet.
oh, see, exactly,
Straight up. Hell yeah.
exactly.
That's how it works, bro. I see it every day.
That's how it works, man.
That's how it works. And I told y'all long ago, institutions are coming this cycle. If you
That's
don't
right.
believe me, I don't know what other proof you need besides BlackRock saying ETF time.
That's right. At a time where Mr. Burns, Gary Gusler, you know, is like eating crow right now. You know, they
Right.
kicking him while he's down because he's corrupt anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Milling around, like taking pictures with FTX, you know,
Yeah.
counterparts and all. Nah, it's all corrupt, you know. So
He all wide open with it. Yeah.
they all, yeah, it's in your face.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
and they're
They gotta
doing it
clean it up
now,
somehow. They gotta clean it up somehow, right?
right? And the best time, why not when the markets are down? But see,
Right.
we lose sight sometimes, and not you and I per se, but people lose sight. They think,
In
oh,
general,
it's the
in general.
worst.
Yeah, in
In
general.
general, they taking advantage while the markets are down. That's when they scoop up the most, hold, or do whatever, acquire the most, and leave the crumbs for everybody else when the bull market rages.
Correct.
You know,
Correct.
and remain powerless and further the whole agenda of be happy having nothing or have nothing and be happy. You know, like
Right. Right. And that's the thing, right? That's why you always gotta start with your why. Shout
right.
out to ATX with the book Rex, right? So why are you doing
ATX in the
this?
building.
Yeah, why are you doing this? You gotta
That's right.
have a plan, man. You gotta have a plan. Matter of fact, West guy posted this question. I think it was earlier or last night during the stream, and the
Hmm.
question goes something like this: if you had 10 million USD at the top when Hex was 50 cent, what would you do with it? And the sad fact about that question is most people wouldn't have an answer,
Hmm.
right? And the problem with it is the other problem with it is that that's kind of a trick question because it's really a personal question. It's not a
Hmm.
question that there could be a right or wrong answer to. You see, because that's really
Yeah.
all personal preference. What if you got the money and you don't need the cash out? None of that 10 million out, and you can stake it for another 10 years or whatever, a year, two, 20, whatever it is. Whatever. You get my
Right.
point though.
Yep.
Like everybody's answer is going to be different. There's no right or wrong, and this is what people need to understand when they're out here trying to play in these markets.
Hold on one
Everybody,
second, brother.
you go, brother.
Hold. Sorry.
You go, you go. Everybody's talking their book, period. And that's what everybody has to keep in mind. Everybody's talking their book. So unless you're just getting some generic information, which is the type of stuff I provide, what are you doing? You're getting somebody else's opinion, and we found out how that works. It don't, right? So that's why you got to do your own research. Make sure you understand what you're doing because there's not gonna be a map here that's provided. It just can't be one. You don't know what's gonna be what. You don't. You don't know what's gonna change, what's gonna improve, or nothing. I mean, look at what's happened with PulseChain. Nobody saw that. That
I'm
came out of
back. Yeah,
nowhere.
it's crazy.
Yeah, that came out of nowhere. Shit, life is good, bro. My life ain't never been better ever since PulseChain launched.
I agree. I agree.
It's crazy, man.
I agree.
Yeah, I ain't got no complaints whatsoever.
You got to look at it in reverse.
Yeah,
Like this is not a time to be sad, doom and gloom. You got to just make something, make moves now, because later you might not be able to. Just
that's right.
it repeats itself all the time. These cycles, these situations. It's hard for some who never experienced it before, but if you just listen and pay attention and do something and remain balanced, disciplined, you fare better. The chances of you doing well, are exceedingly high. If they saying now that I'm hearing rumblings that people are saying the traders are winning. Trade people who trade and all that. That's cool. We need traders for the markets. I mean,
Yeah, they provide liquidity.
they provide liquidity. They have a purpose,
They are in essence exit liquidity. That's their literal purpose.
right?
So yeah, knock yourselves out, guys. That's what the fuck y'all
Knock
for.
yourselves out.
Yeah,
Word. We have
somebody got to
farms.
take
You
your
can
bag.
make money.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, man. Like, so open your eyes. You got farms. You want to make money every day, make it work for you. Like, I'm not giving the sauce, because whatever's good for me may not be good for somebody else, but it's there. It's there. You don't have to necessarily look at something like the $10 million thing. 90% correction. What's that
yeah,
must hurt.
yeah, 100%.
You know, you watching your thing go
99%
down.
now.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? So down, about to be down minus 101%, motherfucker. Let's start going and reversing this bitch. God damn.
But it's par for the course. It's
Word.
par for. It's what happens. Volatility. This is what it
Uh,
is, man.
that's part of the game, and that's what we got to understand.
It's part of the game.
It's part of the game. Nobody saw none of this coming,
Right.
you know, and that's why we got to take advantage.
Yeah.
Like right now, you should be trying to find ways to make extra money.
Yeah.
Because, like, I remember when everybody, let's talk about this. Remember when everybody was talking about PulseChain plan and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I mean, for 2 years, motherfuckers was creating all these dumbass strategies and they ain't deploying none of them.
Right.
Not a one. And I was just sitting here looking like, why these motherfuckers so dumb? Wasting time on shit that is not going to yield any type of benefit.
None.
None. And here comes PulseChain and PulseX, and motherfuckers don't know how to do anything.
No.
What the hell were
No.
you guys doing for the last 2 years?
Just talking
Literally.
nonsense. Yeah. Just talking.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yo,
it's here.
it's baffling. It's been 30 days. My life is better than ever. Motherfuckers
Right.
out here don't know whether to turn left or right. What is
Right.
going on? We talked about it for years. What were you
Mhm.
thinking? Not doing anything.
Mhm.
I mean, yo,
They,
wow.
you said something that was powerful recently too in a couple streams. You were mentioning how you were able to use pulse chain, pulse X, and actually, have a bigger than what a bigger bag than what
Yeah,
and that kind of thing. It's almost like it's mind-boggling to some, because in fact some people did the opposite. They
right.
sold, they got rid of what
Yeah.
uh,
They
and
didn't
the
take
whole
care of
time
the
you've been
bruise.
educating. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy, man.
Come on.
And the price, yo, and the price of Hex just I can't believe it.
Yeah.
I can't believe we seeing these prices again.
Again.
Again. Wow.
Hmm.
And
We've
people
seen the
acting
prices
like,
again.
yo, my plan was working for 2 more years. That was my plan. And I don't even gotta work no more.
Oh
And
wow.
and I don't and yo, and the funny thing is, after post St. Laws, yo, my shit at work just got even smoother. So I'm working right now. Can you
Yeah,
tell?
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna
Right.
keep taking their money and I'm gonna keep dropping that right in the bucket. It's
Right.
it's real easy.
It is. It's not hard.
It's not hard. It's not hard. I was all pressed, ready to quit, but for what? I'm not doing
Right.
anything anyway.
Right.
What am I tripping for? Because there's already so many people working that I don't really gotta do that much shit. So I'm in a good position. I just gotta chill,
Yeah.
take it easy, acquire as much crypto as possible.
Ashe. Facts. Facts.
Yeah.
Facts. And without a live stream from RH. You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
doing this
Oh
without a
man. Please never stream again, brother, if you can. Let the computer code do all the work. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Let the suckers wash out. Let the
right.
math do the work. Cause yo, people
Exactly.
just don't get it. They really
No.
think Bitcoin went from 0 to 69 million% or whatever
Hmm.
because institutions was buying it. Man,
Right.
institutions didn't have a clue.
Right. They don't.
They didn't have a clue. They was not
Mm-mm.
buying it, and if they was buying it, you didn't know about it.
Right.
So why you think they matter? You think they're gonna wave a flag and let you know, hey, time to buy, motherfuckers, we coming in? No.
You know, it's funny you said that because they're doing it.
They're doing it
Fidelity,
now. They're doing it now.
but Fidelity has been mining Bitcoin for at least since 7 years, 7, 8 years.
That's
They
right.
got mining factories
That's
in the
right.
states.
That's right.
Fidelity, one of the premier finance uh,
Yeah,
uh, uh, corporations out. You know what I'm saying? So
100%. When one of them accounts come through, a finance, I'm sorry, a
yeah,
Fidelity, a Vanguard, a T. Rowe Price, bro,
exactly.
we ain't even checking nothing. We just clicking approve, bro. We ain't
Right,
doing
right,
nothing. You know what I'm
exactly.
saying? Like, oh, it
It-
got that name on it. Click. You know what I'm saying? We
That's
ain't
it.
doing shit else.
That's it. They've been in the game.
Yeah, that's right. You know who they are.
They've been in the game and not speaking about it either, but it's open.
That's right. They wide open with it. And that's the thing. Nobody's talking about that.
No.
They're saying they're waiting. What do you mean? Do you not pay attention?
Right, right.
You know what I mean? Like, yo, what the fuck? Let's
You
see
know
what
what they
Alex talking
say?
about. Go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Oh, they're saying that they're waiting to keep the masses waiting and asleep.
Right,
Sort of like sit on your hands, don't do anything, look the opposite way while they continue to enrich their coffers. And then by the time we realize it, well not us, but folks realize it's gonna be out of reach.
yep, big time.
And that's it's a reset for us too in a sense. I mean, we're layer one blockchain, like at minimum. I mean, that's just Solana went up how many x's in its existence at a high? Maybe I saw something that said it went up 1,000x. Solana, you could turn that thing off and on.
Yo, that shit don't even be on.
Exactly.
Yo, hold on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Did you know? Did you know that Solana isn't even a main net? That's a test net.
Wow, wow. No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Most people don't.
Right now, Solana's a testnet.
Right now. You know how long that shit been out. And motherfuckers was talking shit about PulseChain. And yo,
right,
and that's why I'm never cutting them any slack.
right,
Especially people within the community. You stupid.
right,
You ain't never getting no slack cut from Wells. Nope.
right.
Got the nerve to talk shit to RH while he
Yeah,
building? Who the
yeah,
fuck you think you are?
yeah, yeah,
Don't think so. Nah.
yeah. They're producing nothing versus
Even if they're
what we see.
producing, bro, here's my thing. Even if they are producing, you don't scream at the god, son. Period.
Right, right,
Sit your ass the fuck down. Who the fuck
right.
is you?
And learn something.
Learn something. Watch the maestro work, bitch.
Right, right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, sit your ass
Orchestrate.
the fuck down. What is going on out here?
Yeah, right.
It's the craziest thing, man.
They're saying it's a failed launch. Like, yo.
That's yeah. If that's the case, well, God, hot dog, let's keep failing. Let's keep failing, baby. Yeah, that's all I got to say about that.
right.
Woo. Oh, look, I ain't even gonna keep talking numbers, bro. My shit is crazy. That's all I got to say.
yeah. Yeah, you don't have to.
My shit is
Eh,
crazy. I'll say
yeah.
this: my 25% has become 100%
Wow.
already, and
Wow.
people are still out here tripping.
And you see, it's funny you said that. Folks would be selling that. They'll say,
Yeah,
"Oh,
they
listen,
would have
man,
sold that 25%.
they would have sold it." Oh, I mean, like the strategy. I'm talking about, like, you see what you just shared.
Ah,
You've been sharing it in your own way for 2 years plus years. Some people would have sold the strategy on how to
right,
multiply that 25, make it 100,
right, right.
and not even give the proper information just to get themselves rich, because people are greedy like that.
Yeah,
We've seen it in the community how many courses folks are selling. Not everybody, but
yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah. You can see it
it,
in how it's done.
you, and how it's done.
Right,
You know,
right. Because there's
a
a
lot of
certain
people
way
are
to go
not
about doing
educated.
it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
folks they think impermanent loss is like, they don't understand really the farms and how it works, and what the purpose, and what it's used for. And folks, literally, it's just it's here for you to make gains regularly. Yeah, there's risk in everything, but it's how you do it. I can't tell you how to do it because it's not for me to give financial advice. But folks are yielding regular fees for the liquidity pools. Maybe not as much because whatever, but hey, people are making money
Yeah, those
within
farms are
this.
pretty nice.
Yo, I this is.
Yeah, those
I
farms.
remember those 1000x APRs. Oh my god.
Man, you know what's crazy, bro? I was going through my transactions a few days ago, and I was like, "Holy shit!" Because you couldn't see nothing at the beginning. You was
Yeah,
just clicking. You
yeah,
was just doing it ever so often and clicking. Like there was no metrics or nothing, so you didn't really know. and
correct.
then and when I was looking through my transaction, I was like, "Oh shit!" Like the first few days, I don't know how many times I X my bag. Man, that shit was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, just compounding, just from compounding.
See, see.
Yep,
Hmm.
yep.
Like
Gotta,
we're
you gotta be in it to win it,
yeah,
right?
gotta be in it to win it. Can't just only just talk about it, not be actively participating. You have to
Correct,
take a chance, man.
correct, correct. You gotta be strategic. And this is the thing. What did I say before anything? I said, and I'm just talking about me here.
Right.
I'm gonna do nothing, wait and see what the market does. But outside of that, I plan to just DCA for 2 years.
Yep.
So I was thinking long term off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
And the market presented me with the opportunity to farm and do whatever else I was doing. I mean, it was
Mm-hmm.
crazy, yo.
Yeah.
Oh, what? I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it, man. I couldn't
Yeah.
believe it. And then the more days that I passed just looking at the ecosystem, the more evident it became that I needed to just get involved more and more, because even that 25%, I didn't start out with that 25% in full. I really only
Right.
started out with like that 5%. I really wasn't
Wow.
doing all that. Yeah, exactly. So imagine how much bigger my bag would be if I would
Wow.
have went all in from the jump.
Oh
That's right.
man.
That's right. I didn't even go in with
Oh
25% all in. So that's how frugal I was being at the beginning, because
yeah.
I didn't see the opportunity yet.
Yeah.
Right. But then the more I was seeing and doing the math, the more I was like, oh shit, I need to stop messing around and get in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And I got, man, it's just you guys, you gotta be open minded.
Yeah.
You gotta be open minded. That's the net.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You have to be open minded. You and not be afraid to. You're in this space already. You're already a risk taker. So take a chance, calculated risk, do research or whatever, and do something, because it's gonna pass. These opportunities don't come often.
Right.
They're not here forever. So we're
Right.
here.
Right.
Come on, like. I wasn't expecting a farm to be honest with you, like the way it's working now, and
Right.
everything. It's definitely a good tool to use
For
in the
sure.
meantime, while we in the bear, like.
Yo, yeah. Yeah. If you're not providing liquidity, I don't know what you're thinking. I mean,
Right.
you gotta be picking your spots. and provide liquidity. Don't be shy. Understand how it works because you have the
uh,
ability to do so within an ecosystem where there's really limited risk. As long as you
yeah,
understand what you're doing, the risk is really limited.
right.
And people just they got to do their best to understand that because it should be obvious. We've only been talking about it for 2 years.
For 2 years.
Yeah.
And if you were fortunate enough to get bonus, rates from the
Right.
sacrifice,
Right. You
you just play with the bonus, man. That's
yeah,
free on top. I mean, I'm not gonna say, hey, man, don't
yeah.
get me triggered, man. You don't get me
It's just
triggered.
crazy, bro. It's just crazy. I mean, you have to sit here and think for a little bit, guys. You have
Yeah,
nothing but time, space, and opportunity. Apply it.
yeah,
Especially if you're a Hexagon. You
yeah,
literally own time.
yeah.
Don't
On
forget
time.
that. Yeah, don't forget that. Don't get too carried away with PulseChain. PulseChain is the
Yeah.
rails for us to get Hex to where we needed to go.
Mm-hmm.
So don't
Mm-hmm.
get too carried away. Understand the mission requires all the elements,
Yep.
not just some, all of them.
All the moving parts.
That's right.
So well-oiled
Machine.
situation we got
Yeah,
going on
yeah.
right here, man.
Sure, yo, yeah. I mean, dude, I love farming. I never thought I'd be like all up in that shit. I'll be all up in that shit, bro. Like I'm doing this, I'm doing that, doing this, I'm doing that. Yeah, I be playing it, yo. I don't be
Yeah.
taking no losses, yo. I've only been winning since I've been farming. It's
You
crazy,
see? Yeah.
crazy. It's
Yeah.
crazy. I
It
love
takes a lot of stress off of other things too. Like
it.
you have something
Always making some
multiplying
money.
for you. You can
Yeah,
keep it in there as long as you want, right? Like
yeah.
this is
You can go to
come
sleep
on,
on
man.
that shit. I'm the one that does it
Yeah.
how I do it. That's what people gotta understand. It's literally however you want.
Yeah. You work it, you work it. You don't wait for somebody to do the work. You work the tools. You use them, you apply them.
Yep,
Don't wait for anybody to do it for you. Like
that's right. That's right. Let me read this super chat from Mr. Fizzin Man. Let's see. Those that paid
shout out
attention and
Allen.
yeah, shout out to you, brother. Those that paid attention and took action were able to grow their bags without throwing in 1 cent from their pockets. 2 years wasted by half of the community. I'd say more than half. But
Wow.
yeah, that's a fact, man. Very great statement. Shout out to you on that one, bro.
Wow.
Cause yeah, and
Damn.
I agree with this one. I'm on V1 for the win as well.
Hmm.
The gains are really a byproduct, but with all the coins we're burning, oh my god,
Yeah.
woo wee,
Yeah. Yeah.
shit, you kidding me?
Yeah. In 40 days or so, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's really only been 30 something days. It hasn't even been 40 days yet.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
At
do we
this
need to
rate.
go to PLSburn.com? Let's go to PLSburn.com. Let's
Yeah.
take a look. Let's see where we're at. Cause I don't even go to the site no more. It's just too damn addictive to keep up. It's crazy, bro.
It
Let's
is.
look. Ooh, almost a tenth of a percent already.
Yeah, already. Uh,
Already.
uh,
Oh no.
yeah.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you guys are paying attention out there.
Yeah, man.
Cause
Yeah.
all them fees going straight to buy and burn is definitely souping up the action.
Yeah. It's the calm before the mega storm, man. The
Hell
calm
yeah.
before we building towards it, building the momentum, man. You
Yo,
know?
that chart is gonna look stupid. What?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yo, we're gonna own the sickest charts in history, son.
Hmm.
Fuck, I never thought of that.
Yeah. We living through it. We living through it. This is the
And we
moment.
living through it.
We
Damn.
actively, you know,
Damn. I hope you guys are really grasping the significance of this conversation
you know.
because it's critical that people understand the nuances of what they're doing,
Hmm.
right? Because being in a market is like being in an ocean. If you don't have the right equipment, which in this instance is actually your mind and
Mm,
how well equipped you are.
that's right. Yep.
That's the catch 22. You think it's your pocket, but it's not. Plenty of people step into markets with millions and lose it all.
Lose it all.
Lose it all. It's a good comment right here. Thank you, Carn. uh, I was doing proper risk management by keeping myself available for other opportunities and still made a mint.
Mm,
Probably, yeah, probably. 99%. But
mm.
that's the whole point, right? I mean, how can we perceive what's there when it's not live? Like I don't understand people that do that shit. How you
Exactly,
doing
man.
that? It don't even make any sense.
Well, it's live now, man. This is
We're
live,
live
man.
now, and that's right. Farmer Wales is it.
Yeah, right. It's live, man.
Hell
Live
yeah.
and direct. Live and
Farmer
direct, man.
Wales is it. That's right.
Farmer Wells in the building. Yeah, man.
At it. Yeah. Notice I don't talk about that. I don't know. I don't never talk about my farming strategies. Get your own.
Get your own.
Get your own. You gotta do what works for you. Your
Mm-hmm.
bag ain't my bag, so I can't tell you how to do what I do. I know
100%.
what I'm doing with my bag. So
100%. Man.
yeah, I mean it's crazy to think how it feels like highway robbery, really. But
It ain't highway. Well, you deserve this. We
yeah,
deserve
yeah,
it.
yeah. I know it's just crazy.
Yeah, it's not highway robbery. What BlackRock do for a living? You don't
Well,
think they
I
don't
guess you're
rob us
right.
on the
I guess you're right. It
you
ain't
know,
highway robbery. We just
at
doing it better.
all.
We just doing it better. It's all
We That's all. We didn't deserve this. Sweating, feeling through all types of drama for 2 years,
yeah,
3 years, and struggling in life. Nah,
yeah,
we made
yeah,
it. This is where we're supposed to be because it's meant for us to be here right now. That's it. And unfolding the way it's supposed to unfold and be recipients of the greatness that's come. Yeah, man. Come on, man. Yeah,
that's
hell
right.
yeah.
That's right.
Come
It's
on,
hard to
man.
remember that sometimes, but you're right.
Nah, man. We deserve it. It's not robbery at all. What we get robbed every day paying taxes. You know what I'm saying? So it's not.
Yeah, this is right. You're right. This is right. Yeah, thanks for reminding me. Whoops, what
Yeah.
was I thinking? Snap out of it, Wells. Fuck.
You know, come on, you
Ooh, Hedron on
know.
sale, 30 cents per million.
Hey,
Damn,
hey, hey,
30 cents per
hey.
million. Ooh, that's a mouthful for you. You do with that what you will. We don't keep it 100.
Word for real.
I want to talk about that too loudly. Shit, might have to cut that from the screen.
Hey, hey. There's opportunity like
Yo,
no other right now, man. So
yo,
folks are just kind of not,
the,
yeah, yeah.
the last low was 20 cents, folks. Just
Damn,
saying, 20 cents per million. Just saying.
damn.
Yeah, yeah. It only
I
took
didn't think
off.
we would see these lows.
Well, what did it do after that? 37x or something crazy like that?
Yeah, something ridiculous.
Yeah, something crazy like that. So do what you will with that information.
In the bear.
In the bear.
In the
That's
bear
right.
market.
Not even in the bull. That was definitely in the bear. Damn, I didn't even
Yeah,
think about that. That's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
Definitely in the bear. Full Miss Bear. Yeah, we're just gonna do a 37x real quick. Just test for takeoff. You
Yeah,
guys
just
ready?
test. Right,
We're just gonna do a test run. Strap in.
right, right. Before Icosa. Before Icosa launched.
That was before
Come
our
on,
goals.
sir.
That was right.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Like,
Oh man, damn.
yeah. All you could do is like, yeah. Why not revel? Why not celebrate and be joyous and
Yeah, yeah,
the efforts you're making out here and potential for things to happen better for us, in the future. Come on, man. Like,
yeah. It does take a little bit to piece it all together to understand that this is not that easy. It really is something that requires some thought, some understanding, some critical thought, really.
yeah,
Because until I was able to understand all the moving pieces, it didn't make sense. But this is right. This is the opportunity that is available to humans so that they can advance
a hundred
with
percent.
without suppression, right? And oppression. And that's what it's about for sure.
Yes. And why not laugh? Why not revel? Why not be, like, feel like that? Oh, wow, there's hope. There's something here that's working, and finally, man, like you don't
Yep.
feel like you crazy. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? Like,
for sure.
come on,
For
we
sure. Look,
here.
we here. PLS looking like it's about to take off, really.
Hey,
Yeah, so let's see what it looks
eventually,
like versus PLS. Let's see.
shout out to everybody in the chat. I can't see y'all because I'm technologically challenged right now. You know what I'm saying?
Word, shout out to everybody in the chat.
You know,
Ooh, looking sturdy versus PLS too.
look.
There you go, guys, for whoever is holding both for either or.
Mm,
Uh, good luck. Everybody's gonna win either way, and that's really the important thing to understand.
mm-hmm.
So that's why I don't get into those conversations. I'm holding all the motherfuckers regardless.
Yeah, yeah.
Whether I'm holding one or all of them, I'm holding
Or
all of them.
all exactly.
Doesn't matter. I don't
Well
understand what
positioned.
supply is. Yeah. I really don't get it.
Yeah,
Like, just swap for one, bro. It's in your ecosystem. What's the big deal?
man. It's all about perspective, man. Wells, thank you, man. I gotta jump off.
No doubt. I'm about to wrap it up anyway.
You
Appreciate you for
know,
coming on, man.
not a problem, man. Not a problem. Until next time, man. You enjoy the rest of your day, and
Word.
I'ma holla at y'all.
Peace, brother.
Peace.
So yeah, guys. Let's see what this PLS is doing. Damn, that should just keep going higher, huh? I wish you fuckers would stop buying. Let's see. Yeah. Looks like we're gonna keep going to at least 10,000, like we talked about earlier. So that's what's wrapping up there. We got some resistance right here. Once we break this 9,800, clear out this point of control right here, 9,900. Probably keep running to 10,000, maybe scuffle around there for a little bit, then keep on going maybe to here. Then probably just bounce around. I mean, there's got to be some volatility as we progress higher. So it's just a matter of figuring out what's what. And as you guys know, until this point of control shifts higher, you got to suspect that there might be a move lower. It's just the way it works. Because the market has to clear out levels. It's an auctioning process. If people aren't satisfied with paying higher prices, then they got to come back and pay and sell for lower prices. So that's why the point of control has to continue to move. So, but yeah, opportunity presents itself in many forms. Don't be shy. Use your brain. It's there to provide you with assistance. Now, right now, some people need it because this chart is talking. Maybe listen. Maybe we get a lower low, and maybe we get a higher high up here. Things to be cognizant of. Anything else that I'm missing? No, we talked about pretty much everything. So yeah. Let me know if you guys got any questions. Otherwise, I think that pretty much does it. Um, if you're farming, you need to just understand what you're doing, especially if you're trying to keep a certain amount of coins and whatnot. Because if you're not doing things the right way, right, you're exposing yourself to losing coins that you might not want to lose. So you got to understand what you're doing. Um, don't presume that you do. Watch the market, understand it, pay attention. All right. Yeah, I mean, you can farm. It's safe to farm any farm. You just got to understand what you're doing. That's all. Smash the like, guys. Make sure people are watching these sensible videos so they're not being misled out there with nonsense. Always be sure you're sharing good Hexagon content because there's not a lot of good crypto content in general. It's just really us. Um, Providing liquidity. I say the best resource is doing it. It's just doing it. That's really the best way to learn because you'll get to see how your farms change, as prices change, and stuff like that, and how your bag changes, as prices change or don't change, and stuff like that. So just be cognizant of how the market works because a lot of people don't know. That's really the best way is by experiencing it. Because I could explain it to you, but until you go through it, it's not going to really make sense. So it's best if you just do in reality. That's ultimately what it boils down to. Just thinking out loud here. Thinking back to that question from earlier, what would you do if you had 10 million at the top? You guys got to have an answer for that shit. Seriously. Have an answer for that. Don't be the people that are lamenting not cashing anything out because you didn't have a plan. Have a plan. That's what it's all about. Don't be running around pissing in the wind. Don't. Because you're going to regret it. Just like a lot of people regretted it when they didn't sell some at the top. And that's all. Be ready. Don't be afraid. Have a plan. Say, hey, I'm going to take X from the market at this point in time. Or once my bag X to X. Or whatever. Just keep watching it. And then just take some out when you think it's top. Whatever the case is. Just do it. Have a plan. Because you got to understand, markets are uncertain, right? That's why I had this whole stream, operating in ambiguity. It's about understanding what you don't understand. So be sure to always be looking for information, always trying to validate or invalidate whatever your thesis is, stuff like that. It's very important that you do that. Always analyze and assess because things are always changing. Everything is always changing. So the ratios change based on price performance, right? So if you're providing liquidity, say versus PLSX and PLS, and one goes up more versus the other, and they're both going up, but the ratio between both is skewed, then your bag, right, if you're providing liquidity, is going to reflect that skewed relationship, not the dollar version of the market, but the skewed version of the market, because that's what you're providing liquidity in. Does that make sense? Because that's really the whole point. That's exactly how you understand what's going on in your bag. If you don't understand that, then you probably shouldn't be providing liquidity. You got to understand that it's a ratio situation, and ratios change with time. And that's pretty much that. So, yeah. Make sure you understand that. It's about the ratios and how they change. Because they could both be going up at the same time, down at the same time. But if they're going up or down versus each other faster or slower, then that's what your LP bag is going to reflect. Simply put. So, all right. Uh, I try to keep it as close to 50-50 as possible. And the question is there a ratio, KPI, or resource on judging normal elasticity? And I would just try to keep the distribution between both coins at 50%. That's what I would do. That's just me though. So, yep, it's been that way since the jump. I think the first 3 days was like 9 billion PLSX, and it's kept up that tempo. Yep. All right, guys. That's all I got. Catch you guys on the next one. Peace.
Right? The reality is that I want to be rich as fuck. There's only one way to be rich as fuck. That's by sitting on your ass the longest.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
That's the secret. The guy well told you. Richard done told you. I done told you. Kareem done told you. Maddie done told you. Everybody done told you. Everybody done told you. These motherfuckers still acting like they don't know. Appreciate that.
Like yeah.
I appreciate
Trust
that.
us. 100% safe. There's plenty of games left.
Valiant done told you. Yo, everybody said it. I mean, hey, you know what it is, man? Everybody done told you. Yash deep, everybody. My God. Ex-Asians, bro. Everybody. Australians, man. Everybody gets me. Yo, when is it